Yo, what's going on, people? Back with the player ratings from yesterday's game. You might hear something that sounds like a generator in the back. That's my heater. It's freezing, and I can't deal with it. So I've got the heater on. I should be wearing a long sleeve, to be honest, but this is what it is. So Wolves won, Spurs won. Another poor performance, whether it's home or away. Performances just ain't been good enough. As fans, it's like we gotta take so much of this part the bus football. Like if we get results, cool. If we don't, then it don't look good, and it's frustrating. And against teams like Liverpool's, Man City's, I get it, but it's not every game we should be playing like this. Leicester, we shouldn't be playing like that, and Wolves, after we score so early, we shouldn't be shutting up shop. It's like the health inspector came in and just said, shut it down. Like when you're in a restaurant and they see it's not clean, nothing's sterilized, rat drop-ins and whatever else you're doing, they're like, you know what? Shut this down now. Go and tell everyone to shut. And that's what happened to us after we scored so early yesterday. So, you know what? Let's just get right to it. I've done the review. You want to know how I felt about it? Go check the previous video. I've got the review up there on my channel. You can go watch it and see how I felt. But right now, this is player ratings, and we're starting in goal with our captain Hugo Lloris, who didn't really have much to do, if we're being honest. All the shots that came his way were pretty much right at him, so he didn't really have to do anything really extreme. And the set pieces they had was either dealt with by Dyer or Lloris came in, he dealt with it. And there's one incident where Silva came through from good work from either Podence or Neto, and he had to be brave and come off his line and dive at his feet and claim the ball. Took a little knock, but it wasn't nothing too bad. Fortunately, he weren't knocked in his head or injured or anything, so that was a blessing. So didn't have much to do, but what he had to do, he did well. So I'm gonna give Lloris 6. Next, Ben Davies got an assist for the goal, and other than that, he put in a couple of blocks. He dealt with Troy quite well, I guess. And apart from the end of the game when they equalised, he gave the ball away needlessly. Like literally just passed it to the Wolves player, like, here mate, take that, go on, have a go. But other than that, I guess it's an average performance. So Ben Davies, he gets a 5. Dyer, the best defender we had by a mile. He was headering everything, he was making challenges, he was physical, he was strong. He's made that centre back position his. Like when he's not there, we miss him when he's not there. Like if he got injured, we'll be in trouble. And if him and Alderweireld are injured, definitely a crisis. But when he's not there, we miss him. And him and Alderweireld together, that pairing, that's the pairing I would have went with. But I guess you've got a game against Fulham coming up, so the games are coming thick and fast. So you gotta switch the team, I guess, because otherwise they're just gonna get tired and run in the ground. So you're gonna have to use the squad, I guess, utilize the whole thing. So he done well. He headed everything. He was brilliant yesterday. I'm giving Eric Dyer a 7. Sanchez, he was just okay. You know, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't brilliant. He was there, he didn't make no mistakes. Well, at the end, he let Neto skin him and just run right past him and put in that cross for Silva, who I think the blood got to his head and he just fluffed his lines, thank God, and headed it right at Lloris. But other than that, I don't think he done much wrong. He didn't do anything brilliant. So, and usually he just, you know, when you have your game console on for so long, like after what, say an hour or 3 hours, no activity, it just shuts down. That's what Sanchez does. But using the 80th minute, he would just go in standby mode and just go to sleep. But he didn't do that yesterday, so thank God. But he's getting a 5 for me. Reguilon, not his best game in the Tottenham shirt. I don't remember him doing anything really great. He had a shot that he hit right at Reguilon. I was like, could have done better. At least work the keeper a bit. But defensively, he cleared when they had their set pieces. He done his thing. But again, it weren't brilliant and it weren't a good game from him. I'm going to give him a 5 straight down the middle. Harry Winks, for me, his time's up. I think it's only a matter of time before he leaves. I think Summer, he's out. Because for me, he was exiled from the squad for a while. Then he's got back in, but he's not grabbed it by the scruff of the neck and tried to make it his. He's not. He gets the chance, and for me, he just don't deliver anything. He doesn't bring anything to the team, apart from giving away silly fouls. That's all he does. And he did stop Traore going through, and he took one for the team. That's probably the best thing he done for the whole 90 minutes. If we're being real, he didn't do anything. He doesn't transition the ball quickly, and if he does try and go forward, the pass doesn't reach the destination. It's just not good enough. He doesn't break play up, and win the ball, and so he can counter-attack. He doesn't do all that. So, just for stopping Traore, I'm going to give him a 5. Matt Doherty, this is the one that's a bit concerning, because maybe it's just the way we're playing and the way Marino's got him set up, that he don't know how to play in this system. Because at Wolves, I remember when we used to play against Wolves, he was an absolute menace down that right hand side, ripping in crosses, scoring goals, doing all that. At Tottenham, he's not done that. Now I don't know if it's the system or I don't know if he needs time to adjust to the new system, but whatever it is not working. And he's come in to challenge Aurier. And to be honest, since he's come in, Aurier's got a lot better. So maybe that's what this was. He was just here to give Aurier competition so he can show what he can actually do. And to be honest, we missed Aurier yesterday, because Aurier would be on the overlap to whip balls in. And that's where I expect Doherty to be. But he ain't giving no option out he ain't giving us no width. He ain't giving us the options out there. And he can cross, but he's not there whipping in balls in. But then at the same time, there's no one even in the middle most time. It's usually just one player in the middle, 2 players, and 5-6 Wolves players in there. So I guess that's probably why he weren't there really trying to put crosses in. But for me, I've not been impressed by his signing, and there's only 14 million or whatever it is. And at the time, I thought we got an absolute steal, but it looks like he's stealing a living right now, because he's definitely not performing. And for the most part, he was non-existent. I didn't even realise he was still on the pitch. So for me, Doherty didn't do anything. I'm giving Matt Doherty a 3. Højbjerg, this is the player that we've needed for that CDM, and that's going to win the ball back and push us up the pitch. And that's Højbjerg. Since he's come in, the first game he had, it was like, nah. The first game we played against Everton, he was awful. But after that, he's been our best player. Unsung hero, him and Ndombele. Obviously, you got the Canes and the Sons, because they're getting all the goals, so they're getting all the plaudits, which is understandable, because you need goals to win. But you also need someone at the back that's going to break play up and put in that transition and get us forward on the counter. And Højbjerg, he does that brilliantly. He gets it. He's a fighter. He's strong. He tackles everyone. He puts his body on the line. Sometimes he might do a bit too much, but going forward, he gets the ball, and his thinking is, got the ball, go forward. He don't have much pace, but he carries the ball well. He's got good feet, and he can pass the ball, unlike Winks. And Højbjerg, he done alright yesterday. I'm going to give Højbjerg a 6. Not his best game, but he did well. I'm going to give him a 6. And Son. The thing with Son is, in the first half, if he has a bad first half, like an absolute shocker, second half is going to be exactly the same. He's not like Harry Kane where he can have a bad first half, but second half he can just switch it like that. Son doesn't have that. If he has a bad first half, then he's going to have just a bad game altogether, and he had an awful game yesterday. Absolute shocker. He hardly touched the ball. I remember he gave away the ball when we could have been on the counter on the edge of our box. He just gave it right back to Wolves, and I'm surprised he lasted 84 minutes, if I'm being honest, because he should have been taken off a lot earlier. And Son's my guy. I love Son. He's always smiling, he scores goals, he's a brilliant player. When Kane's injured, he steps up and be counted, and he helps carry us over the line, and he's done it plenty of times. So I'm not going to knock him when he has the odd bad game, because he doesn't always have a bad game, but yesterday he had an absolute shocker, and it was well below average. So for me, Son's getting a 4. Ndombele, my man of the match, but by a country mile. He was like one of the best players on the pitch. But definitely a Tottenham shirt, he was my man of the match. He scored the goal, he was going forward, he was direct, he was strong, he was going through players like they weren't even there. Like one time when he set up Reguilon for that, there was like 3 players on him. He just shrugged them all off and just went right past them, put a nice ball through Reguilon, put on the plate, and he couldn't finish his dinner, I'm afraid. But the thing with him, he just can't play a whole 90 minutes, it looks like. To be honest, he looked knackered, but he covered so much ground, and I think it goes unnoticed. I think that's why Mourinho's starting to put him in the team now, because he's starting to realise that Ndombele is what we need in that midfield, creativity-wise. He's strong, and he's got a good pass in him. And there's no Lo Celso. But for me, I would put Ndombele ahead of Lo Celso, to be honest. I'll bring Lo Celso off the bench. And Ndombele, he's brilliant, and he was brilliant yesterday. And my man of the match. Even though he was on for 70 minutes, he was definitely by far the best player on the pitch. So for me, Ndombele, I'm giving him an 8. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. Actually, no, I'm not even giving him an 8. Scrap that. I'm giving him a 9 out of 10. Because he was on for 70 minutes, and in that 70 minutes, he done more than Harry Winks done in the full game. He done more than Son done in 84 minutes. He was brilliant. I'm going to give him a 9. And Kane, no service. He was playing deep. That's his new thing now, going in deep to get the ball. But he had no runners. And it's like, we need someone in there. Like, Ndombele's there. So for me, I don't really think Kane needs to come as deep as he's coming, because Ndombele's there. So he should be going a bit more advanced. But again, it was a frustrating night for Kane. He hardly got the ball, hardly got a sniff. I don't remember him even having a shot at goal, if I'm being honest. So he had a quiet game, and I think that's what Wolves meant to do. They're just meant to shut him down. If you keep Kane quiet, then there's every chance that you're going to get a result against us, because he's the playmaker. It all comes from him. He's starting stuff, he's finishing, he's doing everything. He's involved in a lot of goals. So once you shut that down, then there's nothing you can do. You give him time on the ball, he's going to find the pass to Son or whoever's running outside him. You shut him down, he has to go backwards or sideways, and then you nullify that. And Wolves done that well. So for me, Harry Kane, I'm just going to give him a standard 5. He did well, he had the ball well, won some free kicks when the pressure was on, so I'm going to give him a 5. Right, let's get into the subs. Lucius Sissoko came on for Ndombele, and he did nothing. There was one chance, and the Wolves player was down. Son gave him the ball to put a cross in, and he just literally passed it. He didn't whip it, he just passed it literally to the Wolves defender, and then he just kicked it out so his player can get treatment. I said, you can't get in a position like that on the byline and you put in such a bad delivery like that. Like, you really got to do better in these positions, man. You can't shoot. At least be able to cross the ball or pass it or put in a danger area or do something. Not just give it away needlessly. And he was poor. For me, he's only on for, 25 minutes because he had 5 minutes injury time. He was awful. I'm giving him a 4. Eric Lamela, I'm not going to mark. He came on 84th minute. Didn't have time to do nothing. So I'm not even going to mark him. And Bergwijn came on 63rd minute. He came on for a regular. There was a time when he was quick. He knocked the ball past the player, but he took a heavy touch and gave it away. I was like, oh my God. Seriously? Like, come on. You got to do better, man. Like, for me, Bergwijn this season has been poor. Last season he come in, he scored that worldie against Man City. He was like, oh, we got a player here. But this season he's not good enough. And it looks like we might have been robbed, because I don't know who this guy is, but he's not performing at all. He's been poor. His finishing's poor. His pass is poor. Sometimes his touch is too loose. And I remember Marina was putting him ahead of Lucas a lot, and I was shocked. But he hasn't warranted. He's been dropped since, and deservedly, he's not warranted to start. He's been awful. And 63 minutes. He had a good chunk of time to actually put in a performance. He had over half an hour to do something and he did nothing. I don't remember doing anything positive in that game. So for me, he's getting a 3. It was poor. Again, that's all I've been saying of him recently. I think the last game he had that was somewhat decent was against Liverpool when he should have had 2 goals. One hit the post and the other one was just poor finishing. And that summed him up this season. He's just been not good enough. Anyway, that's the player ratings. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. Type your comments in the section. Let me know what you think. Put your ratings in there. Listen, I don't care what team you support. Any fans welcome. Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, United, City, whatever team you support. Even if you're in the Championship, I don't really care. To be honest, this is about football. This is just, if you like football, then feel free. I'm not here to say, oh, this is just for Tottenham fans, this is just for that fan. No. You're a fan of football, you're welcome. But anyway, hit the like and subscribe, like I said, share. And I'll be dropping another video for the review of the other games that are starting on Friday. So look out for those. And I'll be also dropping a game, a review for the other games that are kicking off from today through to Wednesday. That'll be dropping on Wednesday. I have a Tottenham preview for Fulham dropping also that'll be dropping on tomorrow actually, because we're playing on Wednesday, so I'm gonna drop that tomorrow. So I've got a few videos coming up, and then obviously Wednesday will be the review for the games, and I'll also be dropping a Tottenham review. And on Thursday, New Year's Eve, I'll be dropping a preview for the weekend fixtures. So I've got a lot of content coming, a lot of videos coming, so keep your eyes peeled. They'll be dropped. Believe me, we here, we working. You saw what time I was here yesterday. I was up until well after 1 o'clock getting everything up on YouTube. So just know I'm working. I'm gonna need to get a laptop so I can set up my StreamYard and get everything right. But when the followers are up, then we'll be on that. But until then, you lot stay safe, take care. And until I see you lot again, I'm out. Peace.